as the dad. It's called The Possession.
Really?
And his daughter and him went to like a yard. I won't spoil it, but like it was like a box. That movie's it's kind of freaky, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you seen Hereditary?
Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Hereditary's
You wanna
got
talk
The
about
head?
mindfuck, dude.
The head?
So
it's
mad.
The head?
amazing.
Dude, the mom, like that, she deserved an Oscar for that thing. That thing was
100%.
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
Did she
I
get one?
forget her name.
I don't remember her name either, but her
She's in this other
performance-
movie that's kind of like tweak like that too.
Mhm.
Do you like psychological horror
Love
movies,
it.
like trippy ass?
Those are
Love
like
it.
the best
Watch,
type of
I'm
horror
thinking
Oh,
of
absolutely.
ending things on Netflix. Do you know Jesse Plemons?
Mm-mm.
He's like this.
Have you ever watched Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah.
He
You know
plays Todd
Todd?
in Breaking Bad.
Oh, dude, that guy's an incredible.
Yeah.
He's in
yeah.
this movie, and so is that lady. I fucking forget her name. I can't.
I can't. The one in.
The one
I'll
that
look it up.
Yeah,
Keep-
look
keep
it up
telling
real
your
quick.
story.
Look it up real quick.
And then fucking yeah, dude. But she's in it, dude, and it's this trippy ass fucking movie. It's weird as fuck.
Really?
Yeah, she's in it.
After
it's
I
really
watched
good.
Breaking Bad, and then I mean, I watched Breaking Bad like 3 or 4 times in
Me
a
too.
row
Yeah,
because I
no, me too.
loved it. I love like just TV shows like that,
Mhm.
like drug empires and stuff, like Narcos. Narcos
Dramas
was
and
awesome.
shit.
Yeah.
Crime dramas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched the El Camino afterwards. Did you guys
Tony
watch that?
Collette.
Tony Collette.
Yep.
That's her name.
Yep.
Dude,
Yes.
she's an incredible actress.
Oh yeah.
She does like her
Amazing.
performance in Hereditary. I was like, I legit felt like it was real. I was like, this is
Have
crazy.
you
It was
seen Midsommar?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Also an A24
Midsommar's
film.
trippy, yep.
Also an A24 film.
I
So
haven't
is The
seen it.
Witch.
The
The Witch
Witch.
is really
Dude,
good.
that movie's scary.
The Witch is good. I've
Ever
seen
since
that.
I
The Witch
watched
is
that
is
movie,
fucked
bro, I'll
up.
never look at
You
goats
seen The
same.
Lighthouse?
No.
Goats are fucked.
Is that
Watch
the one? Is that the one with
Lighthouse.
Willem Dafoe?
Willem
Yeah,
Dafoe
Willem
and
Dafoe,
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, okay. I didn't
That
see it,
one's
but
a trip.
I seen like clips of it. It
Shutter
looks good.
Island.
Oh god, yeah.
Shutter
I
Island.
one's
love
like
Shutter
classic.
Island, bro.
A
That movie
classic.
also crazy
Classic.
movie.
First time I watched that, I was tripping nuts.
Really?
First 3 times I watched that, I was tripping nuts.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't watch it sober.
Dude,
until
I don't even
recently.
need to be tripping nuts if I'm watching that. After I watched it, I feel like I was.
Yeah,
tripping.
you
Right,
feel like
dude.
you're tripping
Fuck.
because
I'm at-
like that's another movie that just ends where you're like, oh my
That
god.
twist, I watched
bro.
that by myself while I was tripping, and I didn't see that twist coming.
Oh, dude, that's
Right?
crazy.
Dude,
and
but
it
there's like
Hooked me for a fucking
Yeah,
ride, bro.
It's
And
a
then
mind fuck.
when you watch it like 2 or 3 more times, you like see all the things that they tell you in
Oh,
the
yeah.
in the process of like they're like, oh my god, they give you hints the entire movie that
Oh,
this
yeah.
isn't a real thing.
And like I
Don't
never
spoil
watched
it
it as a
too hard.
kid.
Dude, it's
either.
a 10-year-old. It's like
Yeah, if you haven't seen that shit.
15-year-olds.
Well, I watched it after like fucking. 8
I guess
years of
that's
it
true.
being out.
We won't spoil.
We
It's
won't
a-
spoil it.
It's
Do
one
it.
of the psychological things.
And I wouldn't
Leonardo
watch it as a
DiCaprio,
kid
Martin
because I'm
Scorsese.
scared, bro. of
It's a
that
movie.
lady.
It's a move. That one fucking at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, never. My dad was like, "You want to watch this?" And then I seen like
the trailer.
I seen the trailer. I was like, "No."
Mhm.
Simple as that. That was my answer, and I was like, "Absolutely not."
I'd never even heard of it before. Never saw any trailer for it. Ever watched it. I was tripping nuts, dude. In my room, clicked on it, dude. And fucking, oh my god! It
yeah.
almost sent me into a bad trip.
It's a good movie.
I had to.
though.
I don't remember what I watched after, but it was fucking. It was some stupid ass YouTube video called "Big Dick or Big Dreams."
Yeah, dude.
Love it.
YouTube always saves the
dreams,
day
man.
when you're going into a bad trip.
Leo
It's for
DiCaprio
real.
is an incredible actor, though. Like one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
movies with him is. You guys ever seen Django Unchained?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
dude.
My
Where
favorite.
he
Quentin
plays the slave
Tarantino.
owner.
Yep, my
Mhm.
favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I love that movie. That's probably
You seen the
top of my
Hateful
list.
Eight?
Hateful
Oh
Eight's
gosh, yeah.
Directed
Also
by the
Quentin
same-
Tarantino
yep.
movie. Yeah, great movie. The only thing, so like going into it, I was like kind of like pessimistic. You know, I was like, oh, it looks like it takes place in one place. You know, like, it was
I
just
love
one-
shit like if
loved
they're
it.
able to, if you're able to pull it off.
If you're able to make
Have
a
you
whole
seen the
movie
extended
just
version?
based
In
on
one
only
area?
dialogue in one scene,
Crazy.
Have you seen the extended version?
No, but
have
I haven't seen the
watched
extended version. But
Is
this is crazy. I have the script for it.
what?
I bought it. So, or no, I didn't get. I didn't buy it, but my grandma gave it to me for a birthday present because
That's so
I'm
sick.
obsessed with movies.
Like-
so I have the script.
Like
for the
That's
one of like
sick.
the actual scripts.
It's like, well, I don't know if it's like an actual script,
But
but,
it's
it has
probably
like
like
the
the-
Hateful Eight on the cover.
Yeah.
And it's literally just
Yeah,
like, it
it's
has
probably
like
like the
haberdashery
replica.
here, and, like a stagecoach going into it, and it like has like it says extended
That's
version
sick as fuck.
script, and it's crazy, bro.
That's sick.
That's
I
so
haven't read the whole
cool.
thing. I still have it, but it's cool.
sick, dude.
It's just cool to have, you know, cool.
You
Oh, I
gotta let me
guarantee
see
you.
that shit. Dude. I want to see that shit.
I'll bring it,
Dude, you
I'll
should.
bring it.
I'll-
That's so cool.
I want
That's
to
so
watch it
sick.
again now that we're talking about it because I haven't seen it in like a year or two.
Dude,
but it's amazing.
It's such a good. I actually watched it either like the second or third night I moved into my new apartment just because I have it on DVD.
Oh yeah,
Channing Tatum's role in that movie is so cool to me.
It's so
Dude,
fun. It's so
I wasn't
awesome.
expecting the
He
Quentin
just-
Tarantino
I
to get
know.
Channing Tatum.
Literally
I know,
comes
right?
out
And
of
he
fucking
comes out of
nowhere.
Yeah. and they're all like just like crazy gang members.
Dude.
Crazy.
Such a good movie. Quentin Tarantino's a go.
He is.
The thing that makes me sad is he just had to cancel his most recent movie. What was it called?
It was gonna be called The Movie Critic, and Brad Pitt was gonna be starring in it.
Yeah, and he just canceled it like a few months ago.
It was supposed to be his last one.
Why was that? Do you guys know?
He doesn't. There's no actual details.
There's no.
Usually,
he probably like Hollywood, dude.
Yeah, usually he only cancels it if like a studio isn't along with the movie or like it got leaked or something like that. Which
They
I
wouldn't
imagine
tell Quentin Tarantino no, though.
exactly.
He's one of the few. That's like telling Martin Scorsese, like, yeah, no, you can't make this.
You can't
Yeah,
make a
exactly,
movie.
dude.
Like,
That's what I
it's
was
like
gonna say,
what?
like-
like what?
And like you got to think too. If there's one person that can pull off pretty much any movie that I have faith in, it's Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, facts.
Like
Yep.
all of his movies, I'm a huge fan of. Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill.
Yep.
Django's top of my list. Have you guys ever seen Inglourious Bastards?
Oh,
Inglourious
yeah.
Bastards is amazing.
That's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
The one I didn't mind though, I won't lie, until like the very end was the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really?
Really?
I thought the dialogue was cool. I thought like the story behind it was cool. But
Dude.
like the whole time I'm kind of like, this is just like repetitive. And then the end happened. I was like, this is a good
I
movie.
like. Once
I
Upon a
liked it.
Time is
liked
one
it?
of my favorite movies by them.
Really?
By him, yeah.
Once
It's
Upon a
just
Time?
I like the
It's the most-
cinematography of it. It's
The
such a
cinematography
beautiful
is
movie.
Dude, like the fact that he was able to pull off the classic like filter for it.
Exactly.
in my
And
opinion,
That was cool.
it's
and
the
the,
most
uh,
movie that's ever been made.
how much?
It just gives off that like film.
Oh
vibe.
yeah, and how?
And that right there was I was saying. I feel like if there's anybody that can pull that off, it's him.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Didn't
he
he-
just does such a good job.
He spent like an absurd amount of money on that one scene where they're just
Yeah.
driving down the
Where Brad-
original
Yep.
strip.
Strip of Hollywood.
Yeah,
Where
and
Brad
it's like
Pitt's just sitting there driving.
yeah, and like he spent like millions and millions of dollars on just that scene
Yeah.
because he had to recreate the whole
Hollywood
strip
Boulevard,
because it
yeah.
doesn't look as it did in the 70s.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
no, dude. That's the thing. It's Vegas too, bro. Vegas too. It's crazy now compared to what it used to be.
Never been to Vegas. I went
I
to
wanna go to
Vegas,
Vegas
when
so
I was a little
bad.
kid to get pancakes once, but we didn't even go to Strip.
But you
Dude.
you just got food.
We
It's the
got to
best
plan
part.
a Vegas trip. This is like the third time that like I've heard about going to Vegas in like a week. We got to plan a Vegas trip.
You got to do it.
Noah was telling me about like his Vegas trip. He was like, "Dude, you gotta go."
If we go
It's
though,
so
we
much
got to
fun.
do some hangover type shit.
Oh,
Bro.
that's what I'm saying.
It's
like,
Vegas.
It's
You got
Vegas.
to.
Why wouldn't
I'll
we?
drug you guys.
All right, but you have to drug yourself as well,
I'm-
obviously.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You got to pull an Allen, bro.
Exactly.
You got to pull a Zach
We-
Galifianakis. So I just got back from Vegas. It was my buddy's birthday, and his parents took us there, and my phone got stolen there, bro.
Really?
Oh,
No
how?
shot.
So-
How?
I'm not gonna lie, I was hammered,
Okay.
hammered drunk.
Fair. You're in Vegas.
Dude,
I'm in
That's
Vegas.
Understandable.
It was fun.
I think that's what I'll do is like just leave my phone at like our Airbnb.
See, that's what I
Yeah,
should have done.
yeah.
Or at least be one of those fools that just walks around with a fanny pack, you know? Just have
Fact,
it.
dude. Everyone needs a fanny pack.
Everyone
on
needs a
trip.
fanny pack.
You know what I
Gotta
plan
have
on
a fanny
doing?
pack. What do you plan on doing, brother?
Are you dying first?
I'm gonna get.
You're gonna
I'm gonna
cough
get a
away.
phone case that attaches to a bracelet on my wrist,
Mm.
so that my phone is like handcuffed to.
That's actually smart. Well, say like that. Put your wallet in there too, bro. I'm surprised my wallet didn't get stolen
Because
first.
I'm gonna get unbelievably schnitchled down in Vegas.
have to. It's Vegas, bro.
I'm gonna be off of illicit substances.
I approve. I approve of
I do too. I don't care.
it. He doesn't care.
Landon approves.
I approve.
If Landon approves, then it's the move.
It's the move,
Exactly.
bro. Absolutely. But like I went to Vegas, my phone got stolen. But like the trip before that was awesome. Like either the first or I think it was the second.
How long were
night.
you down there?
We were down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 5 days.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, we spent 2 days.
Was
at the
that
X-
enough time to like
See everything.
have some fun?
Well,
Not
after my phone got stolen, absolutely.
yeah, yeah, I bet.
After my phone, I couldn't take pictures or nothing.
Yeah,
but like,
dude,
it was
fuck.
fun. Like I was so hammered drunk, but I was still able to go into my buddy's phone, log into my Apple information, and put it into lost mode.
yeah.
Ooh,
I couldn't tell you
nice.
my iPhone password sober. I don't know how, or my iCloud information. I don't know how
It's
I
like
pulled it off.
it's adrenaline and alcohol working
Exactly.
together.
It
there.
was
There's that one
uniting
part.
forces, man. They were there.
There's that one part of your brain that just alcohol triggered to be able to access that specific part of your memory.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And after, so like I was sitting at a machine. My buddy was, I want to say they were at in like a sports bar or something. I can't exactly remember, but like I was gambling on a machine by myself. And whenever I go to like the casino or anything, I put my phone right here.
Yeah.
Like, and I just press the button. And like my buddy called me. I answered. He goes, "Where you at?" I was like, "Oh, I'm over here. Let me just finish. Let me run out of money here real quick.
Yeah.
And then I'll come over to you. And I put my phone back down and finished off with the remaining money. I think it was like $15. It wasn't a lot. I was betting like 25 cents. I didn't care. But like I just got up and left it there.
Mhm.
And then he called me again, and my watch was dinging because it was connected to my phone. And I was like, oh, he's calling me. So I went to go get my phone. It wasn't in my pocket. And so I answered on my watch, you know?
Yeah.
And then it disconnected.
Fuck.
And I knew exactly what machine I was sitting at because I literally had taken like 6 steps.
Yeah.
And I went back there and it wasn't there. And then after it wasn't there, I was like looking around for it. In the midst of me looking for my phone because I thought it got stolen, which it did, I forgot what machine I was sitting at. But like he showed up. He showed up and he's like, "What machine were you sitting at?" I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's crazy.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but like, oh yeah, somebody definitely just like sold my cell phone on the strip that day for $500.
100%.
But luckily, I logged out of it, so.
Well, good thing you were sober. Well, adrenalized enough to do that.
Yeah. At least I got it all logged out. I was scared, bro.
I bet.
But like, at least it wasn't my wallet. I'd rather have my phone stolen than my wallet.
Exactly.
See?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing.
I've lost a wallet, social
Yeah.
security number and all. I'd rather lose a wallet than a phone.
Actually,
Yeah.
Dude, I lost my wallet once, but like the luckiest thing happened and a cop found it.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
Out of all the people that can find it,
Exactly,
somebody
bro.
who legally has to return
I
it.
know, right? Like, I got a call. Like, I lost it. Like, couldn't find it. Was looking for it. Like the morning after, got a call from like a cop. Like it
On
came
his
up
cell
came
phone?
up as like some random number, but it said like sergeant in front of it, and I was like, I should answer that.
Yeah.
probably answer that. Yeah.
Seems
Answered it, and
important.
he's like, "Hey, I have your wallet up here at the station," and I was like, "Oh, sick."
Like, thank you.
He was like, "Yeah, I found it last night. I think it was at like the mall or Walmart or something." I was like, "Oh shit, thank you."
God you found
Lucky
that, though.
motherfucker.
Goodness
I know,
gracious.
right?
That's what I was hoping for. So I was in Planet Hollywood when my phone got stolen in Vegas. And so it took me like 15, 20 minutes to find a security guard.
Oh,
Because like there's so many people in Vegas, bro.
I
Like, there's
bet,
just walking
yeah.
around. You're like, I gotta find. And like luckily for Planet Hollywood, all the security guards were in like construction worker colored shirts. So
Yeah.
you knew exactly where they were, like fluorescent shirts. And I found them, and he took me into the lost and found, bro. There was like 17 cell phones. in there.
Jesus Christ, I bet.
I'm not lying. And there's like 4 wallets. Like people lose a lot of stuff.
Jesus
It was
Christ.
crazy.
I
dude.
bet Vegas is the center of everywhere for lost shit, dude.
Oh,
Dude,
without a doubt.
I would have
'Cause
been
people
the
get
type.
hammered.
I would have been the type of guy to be pressing him like, I need to see the surveillance of my booth right now.
So-
Like, I need to see who took my phone. I need you to call the cops on that guy.
So I actually did that. But the thing is you won't believe this. The cameras that they have pointed at the machines,
Yeah.
they're
Don't
like
work.
cameras from like
yeah.
5th century. Bro.
Yeah, dude.
They have the worst clearance
Like
ever.
2 pixels ever.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
Exactly. It looks like you're watching an AFV.
Yeah.
Video. America's
won-
Funniest Home Videos.
No
from
wonder
the
George
90s.
Clooney was able to rob those so many times. You know that?
Bro, facts.
And so he goes like, he even told me, he's like, yeah, the machines or the cameras pointed at the machines, they're not that clear, but the cameras that they have pointed at like the blackjack tables and the poker tables.
I bet
Those are
clear
the
as
best
fuck.
cameras in the
Clear
world.
as
yeah.
day.
It's like
bro.
a portal into that area.
Yeah, and you think, oh, you're in Las
Well-
Vegas, maybe spend some more money on cameras for the
Yeah, dude,
machines.
the fuck.
Well, see, that's the thing, because that's the thing. They have the nice cameras at the machines at the games where people can scam, like the card dealer or count cards and
Oh
stuff.
God, yeah.
The only thing
Absolutely.
scamming you when you're playing a machine is the machine you're
machine,
playing on.
Exactly. So they
don't
they're
give
like,
a
"Whatever,
fuck."
We don't care.
Yeah.
They're like,
I
if you
do
lose a
have-
phone, you lose a phone. Who cares? As long as you're not stealing money out of that machine, I don't
Oh,
care.
exactly. You know, and I do have reason to believe. So there was this white guy with a white shirt and a black backpack
Yep.
walking around, sus as hell.
A lurker.
I thought for sure that was the guy that stole my phone, and I remember seeing him and running up to him, and be like, "Excuse me, sir, did you see a cell phone anywhere?" He's in this. I could just tell he was like, "No." Like, that man had a backpack probably full of cell phones, but not just mine.
Yeah, dude.
He probably had like a lot of people's cell phones in that
Yo.
backpack.
He was walking around stealing people's drinks, their
Oh, yeah.
wallets, their tokens,
Oh,
all
yeah.
their
He
shit.
didn't
Yeah.
give a crap, dude.
Everything.
I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." So
I bet Vegas is such an easy place to do that too.
oh God,
There's
because,
too
like,
many
there's
people
too
there,
many
yeah.
people.
Yep.
There's literally just thousands of people. It
That's
was
why the
crazy.
casinos only care about like the money they make. They don't care
Oh.
about any money you lose or anything like that.
Fuck no.
And that's the thing about Vegas, bro, that scares me, dude. Is like after that trip, I said, never will I ever go anywhere else without my phone like zipped up in
Yeah,
my pocket.
yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna go like a public casino, I'm not taking my phone out.
Dude, like even like this isn't like super protected, but I always wear like something tight around my butt, so I have like my phone strap right. So if someone like tries to slip it out or like anything, I
You'll
never
feel
leave
it.
it out on the table. I always sit on it because I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like if
Just
I break
feel
it, I
it.
break it.
Maybe I'd rather break it than it gets stolen.
Exactly.
You know?
I'd rather like crack it a little than someone steal it and steal all the information on it.
Exactly.
It's like fuck that.
God, that's why I'm so thankful I was, adrenalized, like you said,
Yeah.
enough to log out of my phone and put it on the lost mode. But like even to this day, I can't get my watch to connect to this phone, bro, just because
Still connected to that phone.
it's still
technically?
connected to that phone. Well, yeah, it's just
Yeah,
It's
I wonder
somewhere.
If the person that bought
It's
it,
connected to
I wonder if the
something.
person that bought it just can't connect their Apple Watch.
they're like, dude,
Dude,
why isn't this working?
Dude, why can't it connect to this fucking Apple Watch?
And the thing is like I take very good care of my stuff. So like my phone looked like mint condition. So the person that bought it thought, oh, brand new iPhone 13.
Yeah.
Nice. Because like that's what, and like luckily it was insured, so I just got the same exact phone
Yeah.
for like $200.
That's not
That's
bad.
nice.
Oh gosh, no, I was like, heck yeah.
$200.
That's why you get
That's
your
not horrible.
phones insured, folks.
Absolutely.
People don't think about that. But
Exactly.
Like, getting stolen is on your insurance.
Mhm.
Thank
Especially if
the
you're gonna
Lord,
go to
dude.
Vegas.
I've never lost a phone or gotten one stolen.
Really?
I don't.
Facts. Knock on the wood, bro.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever lost one.
Lost a
But
phone.
no, but
Yeah.
I've broken them a lot.
Well, I broke a phone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I broke a phone. I broke more controllers from video games than I have
Oh
my
my
phone. though.
fuck, dude.
Same.
You're talking to the Lord of fucking
Yeah.
breaking fucking controllers.
almost-
You break a lot of controllers.
Dude, I have to now I have to.
But he's
'cause
broken monitors, dude.
Yeah, I've broken monitors. I've broken
Headsets.
keyboards, headsets. Like I've broken a lot of stuff.
He's
But,
a piece of shit.
but now, I'll stop myself from doing it. I was getting really mad at Call of Duty the other day when I was playing it because I was trying to get knife kills. And
Oh,
it's
that
so,
game's when you're trying to do challenges, bro.
it's so hard.
Rage.
Like,
Rage.
bro, especially when the matchmaking isn't on your side. You're like, I need like 3 of the 6 maps you have, and you're only putting me on the only 3 I don't need.
Exactly, dude.
And it's like, bro. So I
They
was
do
just
it on
getting mad,
purpose.
and I literally thought about snapping my controller in half, and I was like, nope, don't do it.
Don't
Set
do
the
it.
controller down. So I set
Sometimes
it.
if you just like stop for a second,
I set
take a
it down
deep
and just
breath.
slammed my hand on my desk because I got a sturdy desk now. That
Oh, yeah.
I learned from that too because I used to slam and I like fully broke a desk once
In
by
half,
just
bro,
slamming
like,
it.
boom,
Yeah,
it cracked.
like I cracked like the whole front panel just by slamming it so much.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
You know what game enrages me more than ever? And I discovered it. I mean, it's always enraged me throughout my whole life, but like recently, just because I've gotten really into it. Madden.
Oh,
Really?
all those sports games.
All
make
the
me
sports
make
games,
so
bro.
mad.
I was playing Madden the other day. I have a PS5, so I just bought a new controller. But the controller I had before was a purple one,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy I was playing never touched grass. This man
Yep.
plays Madden for a living, bro.
Yep.
He
Yep.
smoked me, and I was just getting I was getting so pissed. So I just boom, boom, all over my desk like 16 times, and all of a sudden a bunch of pieces come flying. And like the PS5 controller is like adaptive trigger, so like you can feel like the vibrations. This piece comes flying out, hits the ceiling. I'm like, what the hell was that? And it's like the piece like that
Buzzes.
vibrates. Yeah. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I've never seen this thing before. It's like I still have the controller. I'll send you
Yeah.
a picture of it, bro.
Dude,
It's fucked
I
up.
bet, dude. Holy
I like
fuck.
fully broke one in half one day.
just
Yeah, like fully like just went like that and broke it in half. And I was like,
Bro,
oh
that takes
shit.
some madness, bro.
I
That takes some
know.
anger.
Dude, he told me, I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, dude, my hand's bleeding. I was like,
Dude,
Jesus
like I can't
Christ.
like
just
he
broke a
I think he
controller.
heard it and
Fucking
came in
insane
and like he
person.
came in and like my control I set my controller down, my hands are all bloody and shit. And I'm
cut
like,
up.
oh shit.
Was it a PS5 controller?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
I've ha-
crazy.
I've
He
had
has a
bigger
picture of it too. He'll send it to you.
I've
Do
had
it.
to buy like 5 PlayStation 5 controllers just based on like PlayStation 5 games I've played or Call of Duty on my PlayStation or my PC. I'm like,
Yeah. That's why I like stopped playing I played it today and like yesterday because I came out with that OG season.
the OG.
I played one game, dude. I got a gold scar, second chest, first game, dude.
That's
So,
insane. Dude,
I
it
was
was-
like, no, I'm about to sweat, dude. I got fucking wiped on by the fucking.
It's so
second
funny.
kid
Bro,
I saw, dude. It
That's
was
the thing.
like, okay.
I played that game for 7 years and tried my hardest just to get back on it one day and get destroyed by a kid born 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude. I swear, bro.
Bro,
It's the worst.
my 11-year-old sister is a sweat at that game, bro.
Dude,
I'm
kids
scared of her.
Kids born after the fucking like 2016 election, dude. Just shitting on your fucking
Dude.
life, bro.
And you see,
Making
like-
you want to fucking like kill yourself.
Oh,
dude.
I hate it. I hate it.
Shit's disgusting.
It pisses me off.
Gaming today is in an insane spot.
It is.
It is.
It really is.
There should be portions of games where you get to hop on and it's for casual players.
Absolutely.
But like there should be another portion of the game that like it logs how many hours you play and like how good you are at the game.
And
And
it's
if
like,
you're that
oh,
good, you
skill-based
have to
matchmaking.
play.
Yeah.
You
Skill-based
have to
but
play
like,
that part.
but like an actual skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah,
not
an actual, not say that you have it.
Not Call of Duty's sorry-ass excuse for skill-based
Oh, yeah.
matchmaking, because
Fuck
that
that
shit
shit,
pisses
bro.
me off. They
That's-
tried to
oh, yeah.
explain it in a tweet that, like, I watched Jev review it, and Jev's even sitting there like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. They don't even know what they're talking
It's like,
about.
that's retarded.
Oh,
like-
and I haven't played the new one, but I heard it's fucking hard, dude. It's like
The-
that new movement they added.
You have
Omni movement.
you have
Yeah,
one
it's
good
weird.
game. Like, I'll have one game where I'm like I have a 2.0 KD or higher or some shit like that.
That's crazy.
Whole rest of the session is I'm last place
He's getting
leaderboard every time.
destroyed, dude. Yeah,
It's so annoying, bro.
that's one thing I do like about Madden though. Like everybody I play, I mean, they're hood people, bro. Like I'm talking like people that would kill me. in
Yeah.
an instant, but like they're fun to play against. Like,
Yeah.
they're and some of them are cool people.
That's what I
Yeah.
got with like NHL and stuff. Like I would just find like a lot of fun people to play against or
Yeah.
even with on my team and shit. You're like, damn, this is actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
And then you get that one sweaty ass kid and you're like, I hate this game.
oh yeah, dude, and they just like they make you look actually stupid
Yep.
because that's all they do all day every day. Like I play Rocket League with my dad, bro. That's funny. Like
Yeah.
me and my dad play Rocket League together.
Yeah.
And he's fucking good.
Really?
Dude, my dad's good. So like
It's a demon.
he is. He's actually good. And every once in a while, actually more than often, so we'll get matched up against a guy who just lives and breathes Rocket League. Like that's what he does. And out of nowhere, my dad will just be like, "Here's another guy who's never done anything else besides play
Yep.
Rocket League," and he'll go on like the most like insane rants of his life.
Yeah.
But like it's funny just because like not many people can say, yeah, I played Rocket League with my dad. Like,
That's pretty dope.
that's fucking awesome.
That
I
is
love
pretty
playing
cool.
Rocket League with my dad, dude. He's funny too.
I bet.
He's a funny guy.
Mr. Murphy.
Mr. Murphy, the Dan Murphy, dude.
Shout out.
Shout out to Dan Murphy, my dad. He's
Shout
a
out.
goat.
Shout out.
Shout out.
I love my dad, dude.
Dude, that's sick.
He's a cool guy, dude.
Let's get him on the pod.
Dude, if my dad joins the podcast, he's officially the goat.
Dude, we'll
Be
get
good.
him on.
Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Let's
I'll
make
text
it
him and be like,
happen.
"Yo, Dad, just came off a podcast. You're next.
You're next.
You're next. You're
They're
gonna
like
be
they
on the podcast."
they're dying to interview you. They're dying.
He's a good dude, man. I love my dad.
Oh,
That's
dude, I
good.
bet.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out. I can't believe you're still working at the club, dude. That shit's wild.
I've been there for
dude.
6 years.
What's that like?
It's actually it's an up and down slope, but recently it's been nothing but uphill.
Okay.
Thank
That's
God.
good. That's
Dude,
good.
That's
Why?
crazy to say.
Mhm. That's very good. I remember when those guys worked there and every day.
Bro,
That's-
he got kind of screwed over on it though.
I know.
He,
I remember.
he got put as a busser because I told people, because remember when you came in, you're like, "Yo, man, I don't want to work in a dish pit, bro. I don't want to be a dishwasher."
I didn't want to work on the dish pit or the fucking line.
Yeah. Did you start as a dishwasher?
I started as a dishwasher, and then remember I got onto the line.
Yeah, you got onto the line. You were pantry for a little bit, and
And
then
then
you
it
went
was
to
fry.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So I remember going up to Kevin at the time, who was the manager. I said, "Yo, Kev," I said, "I know this kid from high school. He does not want to work back here. Put him as in like on our side, because at the end of the day, let's say things worked out, and you could serve some tables. That's
Yeah.
where the money's at, man.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
You make some fucking coin
yeah,
serving some
dude.
tables, man. Especially if you're good with people. It's crazy.
Even that, like you
I
serve
would've
tables
ran
for
it
a
up
bit.
serving,
Yeah.
dude.
Serve tables for a bit, then you can do the bar.
Yeah, dude. Bartending is literally it, like,
Oh,
especially
dude.
on Sundays, like when there's
my
football
God.
happening during
Yeah, bro.
football
And
season, bro.
everyone's there. You're
Dude,
like, oh,
you
If
get
initially, if initially I got thrown on as a busser instead of like in the dish pit, bro. Oh
Maybe.
my god, dude. And then eventually worked my way up to serving, dude. Oh
Mhm.
my god.
But
Me and
that's
you
the
at
thing.
the club, dude. That'd be so chill,
Bro, no, it was chill. Remember, even Vil was there. We'd have a
Vil
fucking
and
blast.
Dean.
Yeah,
And
dude,
Dean.
Dean was there. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Those were good
Yeah,
days,
dude.
dude. But now it's kind of like it's very strict now. And
Really?
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
reason I say that it's going uphill because of the strictness now is because I hate to say it. For as much as I love a lot of the people I work with, a lot of them have gotten a lot lazy. A lot
Yeah.
lazier
yeah, yeah.
because of how laid back it was.
That's fair.
that
like-
happens in a laid back job.
It
Who's
does.
still there from when I was there?
Who do you remember? Like I seen Dean and Mike come in the other day, Michael Phillips. But
Yep.
they're not there anymore. Because is Michael still working at B-Dubs?
Yep.
Okay, so Mike's still working at B-Dubs. Dean said he was doing some pipe work for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I said I thought I thought he said he quit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay, yeah, okay, if I remember right. But let's see who's still there. A lot of people left.
Is the entire back of the house different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
A lot of it is like we don't have a single OG. Brenda's still there.
Interesting.
Yeah, bro, she's still
Okay.
there. She's a menace to society, bro.
You
I
know
don't know how
who-
you worked under her.
Who?
I can't. Brenda, I love her to
Oh,
death.
the
bro.
kitchen
Yeah,
manager?
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
She was a disaster.
Never had to talk to her.
Really?
I was always nights.
Oh yeah, she's only there till like 3 o'clock. That's lucky because she's a nightmare. But I can't. All of the back of house changed. We have this. I will say this: we have a new kitchen manager, and he's on call most times. His name's Anthony. He's a Riojas. I don't know if you guys know any of the Riojas.
George. Our age, George Riojas.
I know
Quintessential.
Antonio Riojas, his nephew. That's like a couple grades below us.
RIOJAS.
RIOJAS. Yeah.
Yeah.
But his name's Anthony. You want to talk about a supporter for music, man? This man fucking loves my songs. Bro.
That's
like
sick.
probably one of my biggest supporters. But like that's not even it. Like he is just a down to earth guy.
Mhm.
He's such a cool dude, and he lived in Billings for a while. But yeah, like he's like one of our kitchen managers now. He's a great guy, man. I love that guy.
That's nice.
And it's nice, like even though it's pretty strict. Like the people that actually do a good job, we're all in like our little bubble, bro. We're
Yeah.
cool. We're cool as hell. With
That
each other,
like
you know?
Yeah.
and
You know.
that's why you stayed there because you found your own environment. Like it's a
Exactly.
nice work environment. That's
I'm not
nice.
gonna lie to you guys though. There was like a short period of time just recently where I was looking to get another job. And
Really?
it was right before we had this new general manager. Nothing against our past general manager. It was after Kevin left. We had her name's I won't say her name, but like she's a great person. She really is. But she just didn't do a very good job, general
Yeah.
manager. You know, and you know that caused a lot of laziness. Caused a lot like the reason I said it is because like the closer would close, but they
Yep.
wouldn't do half their stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd come in as the opener, and it's a fucking disaster. I'm
Mhm.
like, what in the hell? I'm like, are you serious? Like, I got to do all of this
Yup.
stuff by myself now, and so I get really pissed. And then,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, just other than that, like, she didn't do a very good job, and like, people didn't really get reprimanded or in trouble for not doing certain stuff, but now people are.
Yep.
And I'd say for the past 3 weeks, everybody's done what they're supposed to
That's
do.
pretty good.
And I love it because, like, at the end of the day, if as long as you just do what you're supposed to do, there's room to fuck around. You know?
Oh, yeah,
There's room
for
to do
sure.
stupid shit.
Well, like that's kind of like where it was at when we were there. I feel like it was gay, kind of, because
it was gay.
no offense to Kebo.
No offense to Kevo. Kevo's a
But-
great guy. Love the man to death, but also very laid back. Only came upstairs every 5 or so hours
I
to
didn't.
check on us.
I didn't think. he
Yeah,
was
see,
good at
that's
his
ridiculous.
Job.
He
I
was
didn't think he was good at his job at all.
No, and you're not the only one.
His scheduling,
God awful.
horrible.
God awful.
I
Probably
don't
the
think I've
worst
met a
scheduler.
worse scheduler in my entire life.
But yeah, no, I mean it's good. Shout out to Jared. I owe you a 30 rack of Coors Light, bro.
Dude, I'd be so down to get Jared on the podcast.
Dude, Jared is a cool fucking guy.
Nice.
You gotta
Sick.
meet Jared. He's
He's dope.
I'll meet him. I'm down
We'll
to
pull up
meet
to
him.
He's
the.
a cool
We'll pull
kid.
up to the. What days do you say he works?
Monday and Wednesday.
Do you work either of the days he works?
Wednesday?
We'll
We'll
pull
pull
up
up on a Wednesday.
Do
Yeah.
it, dude.
We'll pull
Do
up to
it.
the bar.
Let's do it, dude.
Yeah,
we can get
we'll
him to
fucking-
pop on the pot, and he's so chill. I guarantee if you ask him, he'd be like, "Oh yeah." He's so cool.
Have you and him on at the same time, dude? That'd be
Oh,
sick.
yeah, that'd be
Dude,
sick.
if I got to sit next to Jared during a podcast and
That'd
hear
be
some of
sick.
the stories that
Oh,
this guy's got to
dude.
tell, bro.
Guess who we had on? Miles.
Stricker?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bro, you're capping.
No, I swear.
A few
You
episodes
had
ago.
Miles.
Yeah.
I didn't see that episode.
I'll
you guys
send
had
it to you.
Was it awesome?
Oh my
Oh,
fucking! It's
dude.
our best episode.
He's
Really?
got
I'm not.
stories.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
guys.
dude, yeah,
I'm
you wanna
sorry,
talk about
everybody who's
stories.
been a guest on the podcast. It's our best episode.
It's-
Dude, Miles
my-
is a
one of
cool
my
fucking
favorite.
guy, though. That
He-
plant shop that he's got going on.
Well,
Oh,
has he
yeah.
ever told you the story of when he broke into that abandoned school?
Bro, what? No.
Oh my
Watch the
God, Watch the
podcast.
podcast.
Is it
Yeah,
cool? Is
it's
it fun?
good.
I gotta listen
It's
to
the-
this, bro.
It's probably my favorite story that anybody's ever told me. in
Literally,
my
it's,
entire
it's one of
life.
the craziest
my God,
stories I've
yeah.
ever heard anyone tell.
He's
And I'm
such a
like,
good
it's-
storyteller too, dude. Shout out Miles. Miles, if you're watching this, shout out.
Miles, I miss you, bro.
For
I haven't
real.
heard from you in a long time. I seen you at Solantes a couple months ago, but I don't think you recognize me.
Miles is dope, dude. He's doing so good with Plantosaurus
Dude,
Rex.
every
too,
time I
dude.
see him, he's always working his ass
Oh,
off.
100%.
Every time I see him,
He's dope, dude.
he is. He's a cool. He's a
He
fucking
knows
down-to-earth
what he
guy.
knows what he's doing.
He's a down to earth guy too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very,
He's one of
very
the
sublime.
nicest people you'll ever meet.
Oh fuck yeah! I've
Swear.
never had a problem with
Swear.
Miles, dude. Miles is a G.
Mhm.
G and
Nice
a-
guy.
G and a half,
Mhm.
absolutely. What's new with you guys? Fuck, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a
Fuck,
minute,
Dude,
This
we've
shit.
been doing this, yeah. Just doing the
Just this.
podcast and
Yeah.
yeah. pretty much just this and
Been
working.
working. Stericycle.
I fucking love it.
Yeah,
I seriously do. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of podcasts in general, and just love watching your guys' podcasts.
Nice.
Thank you, dude.
Like,
And we got
appreciate that.
we got more stuff on the way. We got like skits and stuff
Yeah.
planned for
And
next
guys-
year.
We won't talk too much.
Yeah,
about it.
we're not going to spoil it too
spoiler
much.
alerts
We'll tell you
here.
a little bit more about it after the episode.
Behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
you guys don't get to know about this shit.
It'll
I
come
love it
out.
though. That's
We
fucking
got a
right.
big plan for 2025.
Oh yeah.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, it's
You
it's a lot of shit that's
That's
coming out.
that's the thing. I'm not trying to get all biblical on you guys, but God has a fucking reason for all of us. man.
God
He's
has
got
a plan,
journey, He's
man.
got a plan. He's got
Mhm.
Yeah.
everything for everybody.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
I was watching. I don't know if you've ever seen that. They're like kind of growing on Instagram. That's what I've seen them on. They might have YouTube and stuff. They're called like the Johnson Brothers on Instagram, and they just make like these insanely funny videos about like just like they'll do like a round 3 zombies, and it's like it's performed so well. I'll have to show you guys one of the videos
will, yeah.
after this, but
For
it's
sure.
so good. I was just watching him and like one of the videos, like it turns out like they're all Catholic and they all study the Bible. I'm like, oh, that's fucking sick.
And they play Call of Duty Zombies.
They're like they don't even play. They like act these things out and stuff.
They act
They
like legit things.
yeah, like imagine like you're playing in zombies, but it's like real life. Like he'll hold the camera like it's a first person and go like round 1 zombies, and like one of his friends will come acting like a zombie and start biting his other friend. It looks
That's
so good.
cool.
That's
And
crazy.
they're all like biblically like
Yeah,
are they
yeah.
Christians?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Christian. I don't want to say. I don't want to get it wrong or anything.
For sure,
but
for sure.
from like I read like a few of their posts and stuff, because if you scroll down a bit, that's kind of what I was just doing today, was like watching all their posts because they were funny as shit. And I'm
Funnier
like,
than
these
hell,
are
yeah.
really cool. We should try and do something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I was watching one of them and it was just like a really biblical type one. And I was like, oh, that's super sweet that like all these guys are just like doing all this super cool stuff, but also trying to preach like their
The
own
gospel.
faith.
For
Yeah,
sure.
It's a cool way to present it to people.
exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
thing too. Like I've grown up in I grew up in a very Christian household, a very biblical household, and growing up I was always very, my mom took me to church and all that. But when you're a little kid going to church and stuff like that,
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm gonna get this right so I can go in the treasure box and
Yeah.
get my
Yep.
my toy.
Yeah, or you do it like you, especially when you're like growing up like that, you get like communion and stuff. Like
Exactly.
you only get it so you can get to the front of that line and get that little piece of bread.
Exactly. But
You're like, I want that.
Fuck, I'm hungry.
You don't
bro.
really understand what all of that means when you're that young. Because
No.
I remember not choosing to do that when I was at Central. Because at Central you go to church, it's like once a month. I think they just recently changed it. They go like once a week now, but it used to be once a month for like an hour service. But
Because that's a pretty small school.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Our
it's
whole
very,
like
very,
my
very
whole
minimal.
class was like 20 kids.
Oh, yeah.
20 something kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you graduate in Central?
No, I graduated at BU High.
did? Okay.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing is like I was raised in a Christian household and whatnot, but just recently, I'd say within the past like 3 weeks or so, that's all I've been doing.
Really?
That's all I've been doing. The first thing I do when I wake up is read my Bible.
Nice, dude.
And not to get all biblical on you guys, but like just when I start and finish my day with the Bible and God's word, the day is so much better. And
Yeah.
it could be a whole mindset thing, but I don't believe that. I believe that, if you have,
It's faith.
it has a way with working. It
Mhm.
does, exactly. I put my faith in Christ, and that's just what I've been doing recently. And that's kind of the reason why I haven't dropped any new music recently, is because it's hard to write a rap song
Yeah.
without cursing.
I was gonna
Yeah,
ask you
yeah.
about that.
It
I was
is.
gonna be like,
Look at I don't want to like also get biblical and stuff
Oh,
on
I'm-
you,
I'm
but
ready for
I
it.
know like NF and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
NF is technically a Christian rapper. He doesn't
Exactly.
swear. He talks about God and stuff in some of his songs.
And
not
I
all
look
of
up
them.
to it so much.
I love NF. Like
he's-
like we just saw it the other. He's on the top of my Spotify
Yep.
He's so
rap.
talented.
He's so good.
He's so good.
And it's like the fact that he just doesn't swear and he makes great music that resonates with millions of people. And I'm like, you can do that for sure.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like I've been trying, but like it takes a lot of practice for me because I have a mouth.
Oh yeah,
I
get
swear
it.
so much, and I've been trying to be more diligent with my tongue. But yeah, like it's just. So I've been working on it. I have a couple songs in the works. I got an album.
Nice.
I got an album on the way. Just so you guys
Good,
know. Shout out.
nice.
have you came out with like a full album yet?
I have. It was a while ago. Heartbreak and Happiness. It wasn't that
Okay.
good.
Okay.
It wasn't that good. And
I
then I
mean,
was
I don't know,
It
dude.
was in the beginning.
I think the way you got to look at it, dude, is like everybody remembers like high school
They do.
when everybody was coming out with like that mid.
It all started
That
out with
mid.
that
that mid?
one kid. Remember?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
I think his initials.
EM.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I won't say his name. I'm
then-
not disrespectful.
Yeah, okay,
But, like-
but everybody remembers that. I remember when you started coming out with your stuff, I remember thinking to myself, this is leagues better than that. Like, all you got to do when, like, I think, like, I think you're still doing it because you came out with something and, like, it sounded like the minimum, like, okay, this is, like, I could go somewhere with this.
That's
You know
that's
what
the
I
only
mean?
mindset I had.
Exactly. Like, I think a lot of the people who try to get into it don't even get there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
They
I
just
could
do
go
it to
somewhere
do it.
Yeah.
with
They
this.
just do it to do it.
I
They're
could
like,
go
I'm gonna
somewhere with
spit.
this. You
for no
know,
reason.
like it's hard to like be good at like music and like I like hate saying it, but like to a certain degree, you have to have like some form of like talent.
Exactly.
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
You can't
Whether
just do it.
it's just natural talent or a talent that you've developed subconsciously that
mhm.
has to do with this activity
Oh,
or
for sure.
hobby over the years without even thinking about it.
Exactly.
You know, that you've progressed to a certain point to the point where you can be somewhat decent with it to
Oh,
where you can be
absolutely.
like, okay, I can do something with this, you know? And I think you kind of like had that. And like I've slowly over the years kind of like watched you take that and like improve on it and improve on it and improve on it.
Thank you.
And like that song that you have with Colt, you know,
Which
like,
one?
that's, the
newest one or the one
I
before
listened
that?
to the newest one. I like the newest one, but what was the first one that you guys came
Red
out with?
Light.
Red Light.
Yeah.
That
Red
was
Light.
fun.
That was
It was a
solid,
good
dude.
song.
And I remember
I love
first
that
hearing
song.
Colt on that song and being like, "Holy fuck, dude!" And like
Oh, bro,
like,
I know.
you guys like both on that, like solid, dude,
Mhm.
genuinely, and like you could definitely go somewhere with it. How long you been doing it? Like,
So let's see. I've been doing music now. I recorded my first song, which it wasn't that good. The
That's
lyrics,
okay.
the lyrics were there, but like me and my buddy, my best friend in life, he was the one that kind of helped me with it. We were new to this, so like the producing, I guess we'll say, it was subpar at best. We were first trying it out. You know, we were just kind of getting the hang of things. So I've been doing music now for, let's see, I want to say 2 or 3 years. I think 3 years. And I loved the idea of rapping because like you're growing up, you know, like I said, Christian household, but that was on my mom's side.
yep,
Now my dad's side, of course, like I'm not gonna speak for them or anything about, you know, religious or anything, but like my dad listened to some pretty fucking awesome shit. Dude. He
Yeah.
listened to like
Yeah.
Dr. Dre and Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg,
yeah.
Eminem, all the good, you know, fucking people I listened to
yeah,
growing up. And so it was so crazy. So one day I was just like, I'm going to make a rap song because I like to rap, you know,
Yeah.
because like I was a huge fan of Logic and Eminem and all that. So I
Yeah.
would just like memorize their lyrics and it would really kind of relate to me in some aspects. Not, of course, like the rich stuff, you know,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
like the deeper stuff,
I
like
know what you
NF,
mean.
for example.
Yeah.
Fuck, I love his music. But like, that's what I would do is I was just obsessed with this rap thing. So that first song I came out with, it took me like, I want to say like 2 months to write. 2 months, 60 days to write, just because I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a good song, first song. And then I recorded it, and it wasn't that good. You know,
Yeah.
you can't have a great outcome on everything.
Yeah.
If I feel like if the first thing you come out with is fucking phenomenal, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure
Setting
because you'll
yourself
just
up for
be
failure.
chasing that same fucking lightning
Yeah.
in a bottle.
Because
every
there's
time
one thing I
after.
don't want to be. It's a one-hit wonder.
Exactly.
I want to, you know, exactly. So I want to make
This
a name for myself.
is better than this.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I kept making music after that first song, just kept making them. And these lyrics that I were writing after that first one were just coming to the notepad.
Yeah.
I was just writing stuff down. I was like, okay, I like it. I'm gonna keep recording.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote this one song. To this day, it's, I believe, my favorite song I ever wrote, Miracles. That song, when I wrote it, I was in my absolute best mindset I've ever been in.
Yep.
You know, when I wrote that
Yeah.
song, I can't even explain to you how good I felt inside. And then I recorded it myself. I produced it myself. And in my opinion, it may not have the most views or plays, I guess, out of all my songs. But in my opinion, it's my best song
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it speaks to me.
Yeah.
You know, it speaks to me and the way I felt in that situation, and I can go back to it and listen to it and be like, I like the way I felt doing this, and I'll try to keep, you know,
Looking for
pursuing
that.
it.
Yeah.
And same thing with that song I made with Colt. Going back to it, I freaking like, dude, this kid. Shout out to Colt, man. I
Shout out
Colt.
fucking love making music.
Shout
with
out
you,
Colt
dog.
Man Q.
But he texted me and he was like, "Hey, let's make a fucking song." I was like, "Okay, cool." You know, so he would send me beats, I would send him beats, and then finally I found this one beat, you know, the one that we recorded Red Light on, and I was like, "Dude, I feel like you and I can do something with this thing." And so I don't know if he knows this or not, but like I had a verse written for the song and everything, and I had it all ready for when he got here. But like 30 minutes before he got there to my house to record this song, I wrote this chorus for it, and it was the very beginning of the song. And I was like, dude, I feel like if I were to say this, and like you say this, like we could just like repeat it, and that'd be the chorus. We could set that 3 times throughout the song. It would be fucking awesome. Because like, never give a fuck about a red light, you know? Like, I don't give a shit about stopping. I'm gonna keep going. Exactly. And that's the whole message between it. And like, and he felt it like that. He was already all over it. He was like, dude, my lyrics that I wrote for this song already like followed that chorus like throughout the whole way. And so we had stuff written throughout it, but like throughout that whole song, we were just like improvising, writing stuff down as we were going, listening to that beat. And like every time that he would say something that I liked and he liked, I'd be like, that's going in the fucking song. That was good. And so just like that. So going back to what you asked, I believe that if somebody's going to pursue a music career, they have to do it because they want to do it.
100%.
They can't just do it to do it.
You can't be in it for like anything outside of
passion.
I want to do this because in the end I enjoy doing it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's the whole reason why I started doing this, because I fucking love rapping. I'm gonna rap.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just what I do. And like,
and you can tell.
Exactly. I love it.
You know?
And that's the thing about Colt that I love about so much is like I can feel that passion too.
Yeah.
And I love making music with him because of that reason.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And on top of that, like, we come from a place too where like you don't really like. It's hard to get into that if you really like it too.
It really is.
You know, because there's not a lot of people around here who are like doing that thing that like you can go to as kind of like a mentor. Like everything you're doing, like everything like creatively for the most part, you're figuring out on your own. You know what I mean, like there's nowhere you can go. Like there's no fucking like anything like that. There's no music studio you could go to here that has like studio time where you could like work with like an engineer or some shit like that.
Absolutely.
Like there's nothing like that here. You know, so like it's like it kind of like puts more pressure on you to like actually like it too. You know, there's like so many hurdles in the way of like doing stuff creatively in a place like this that if you don't like it will stray you away from actually doing it, you know? And like that's where you can kind of see people who like actually care about what they're doing is in terms of the consistency.
Absolutely.
You know, because being consistent with something, like everybody can start something, you know what I mean, and just do it for like a few weeks.
Absolutely.
You know, but to like actually keep doing it and keep doing it to a point where like you see progress within whatever you're doing, like that's like a big thing, you know what I mean?
It's a huge thing, and people notice it.
Exactly. Oh, 100%.
People notice it.
They'll tell you too, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing that I feel like if you're somebody and like you have like some creative like aspirations type shit that like you want to like do, but like you're kind of afraid of like, oh, I don't want people to judge me, because everybody has that point.
Oh, I have it.
Yeah, everybody
has it.
And I don't know, just like all those like responses that I've gotten about everything I'm doing, like with Clint and just like on my own shit, like my music, the support you've gotten from your music, like most of it's just like positive. You know what I mean? Like most people aren't going to sit there and talk shit to your face until you get to like a certain level within the shits, and people just start commenting on your fucking like Instagram posts about like, oh, I have a song coming out, oh, that's shitty, you suck, and it's like, who gives a fuck?
Exactly. And that's
you know what I mean?
That's the thing. I put. It's not that I put music out for people to like it. I put music out for people to listen to.
Exactly.
So listen to it. Don't hear it. Listen to it.
And if you don't like it, who cares?
Exactly.
If you don't like it, don't like it.
Exactly.
That's your thing.
That's your thing. If you don't like my music, then you
it's
have
not like
somebody
you're
else
making
you-
it for everybody to like.
Exactly. I have a specific group of audience that I'm trying to reach with the words.
Exactly.
That I say.
Exactly.
And that's the problem with like not like the original intent for like what cancel culture was good. It was to get like bad things off
Oh, yeah.
like the platforms and whatnot.
I need to express myself.
But what it's turned into is if you don't agree with my opinions, I don't want you on the internet at all.
Exactly.
And that's bad because it's like then nobody will have what they want. Like everybody has a different taste in their music and what they watch on the internet.
Lifestyle.
Like their podcasts. Like everybody has a different favorite podcast or just show they watch. And it's like if you try to cancel all of them, there's going to be one thing. It's going to be China over here.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that.
Like literally.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
And that's what it seems like it's turning into. But I mean, it seems to be getting better. There's a lot of people that just don't care. And that seems to work the most. It's just whatever, like, especially like I'll bring like Joe Rogan. Like people try to cancel him pretty much every episode he puts out.
He cares?
Exactly. He doesn't care. He just keeps posting them as long as Spotify will let him keep posting, which they do.
$300 million Spotify deal.
Literally.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's like they're
I
not
start
they're
wiping
not
my
going to
ass.
cancel him
Yeah.
because that's a waste of $300 million.
Exactly. Like, we're paying this man because
And that's
people
for
like
1
to
year.
listen.
Exactly.
That's
like,
a 1 year licensing deal.
Oh yeah.
Like,
That's
I
more
look-
money than I'll probably make in my life.
I
dude.
looked at his like
300.
That's
Listen-
generational wealth.
Yeah.
I looked at his like listeners recently, and he's got like 15 million monthly listeners, and it's like,
For a
bro, for a
podcast.
podcast, that is insane.
He's consistently been the #1 podcast since podcasts have been a #1 thing.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Absolutely, he has, and that's what I was just gonna say. You brought up the point perfectly. As I was gonna say, you don't like Joe Rogan doesn't make a podcast and put these people on his podcast for people to argue with him.
Literally.
He does it to
Dude,
have a conversation.
He had fucking Donald Trump on, and they just had a conversation. They talked about politics, obviously. That was like Donald Trump point for being on there. That was to spread his shit. But it's like they just had a conversation, and it's like people hated on that. But it's like that's all the whole point of that whole thing is to just have a conversation and show you that there are interesting people out there that you might not look at in this way because they're always seen in the media's light.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like the media's always taken stuff so out of context that it's like that's why people like podcasts because you can see this hour to 3 hour long version
Unedited,
of
long
unedited
form.
who this person is.
Yep.
And it just works a lot better than because I've also seen this like where someone will go in for like a TV interview and they'll be there interviewing for like 3 hours, like a podcast style. But the TV only posts 5 minutes of it, and it's the worst 5 minutes of that whole thing.
I was just gonna say that they always try to make the one statement that people they know people won't agree
Exactly.
with.
The controversial thing.
Or they
Controversial
take
thing.
it out of context.
Exactly.
Which
They'll-
is what
they'll
they
clip
do
it up.
99% of the time.
Absolutely, 100% agree. And that's one thing that's why like I won't watch little increments.
Same.
From, like another person's perspective from another person's podcast on somebody else's podcast.
Like when I'm scrolling through like reels and stuff, I see like a Joe Rogan clip that's not posted by Joe Rogan or like one of his friends or the person he had on or something. I'm not gonna watch it. It could be AI at this point. You never know.
Yeah, and
Have you
it's
seen
probably
those
just a
AI
hater.
Joe Rogan ones?
Huh.
Have you seen those like AI Joe
Oh,
Rogan
yeah.
ones? The one with the alien? Mm-hmm. This shit's so fucking
They're
funny.
so funny.
What is
I'll
it?
send
I haven't
it.
seen
I'll
it.
show it to
They're
you
so
after we're done
funny.
here.
Okay,
Like,
cool.
There's this one. Oh my god.
The AI has Joe Rogan's voice down because he has fucking 2,000 episodes of him just talking and talking. So you can
Probably
do
said
AI of
every word in the
anything.
English language at least like 5 times.
Literally.
And that's why
he said the N word, bro. Like he was reading something, and that was a thing a few years ago. He was reading something from like a book about slaves and said the N
That
word
was
because
he
it read
posted
it.
it, and then like 5 years
Literally.
later, they tried to cancel him for it. And it's like, what the fuck?
And that's what else I hate is something you did like before you were even famous, before you even started really doing your profession professionally, you can get canceled for it. They did Kevin Hart the same way when he was going to host the Oscars. They found a tweet from 10 years ago when he was just a comic. He wasn't even, I don't think he was even acting at that point when he tweeted that. And it's like, so he was just making a joke. You have to look at it in that time.
Oh yeah.
But they don't. They look at it from where he is
From
right
where
now.
he is right now and everything that's going on in the
Yep.
world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they try to make him look like a bad guy.
Yeah.
And that's like one of my favorite podcasts to watch is the George Janko podcast.
I love George.
Dude,
fucking love George.
Fucking love his podcast.
I love George.
He inspires me like nobody's business. But like I remember about a year ago, I think it was like almost a year ago, he had that Andrew Tate interview. And that's what Andrew Tate said. He was like, I became the most Googled man on the planet, yada, yada, yada. And he goes, and they tried to bring up a video that was posted on YouTube 8 years ago that had 45 views on YouTube about him making a joke about how women can't park.
Yeah.
or something like that, and they just nailed him for it.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's like, bro,
And
you did this from 8 years ago.
Yep.
You're just trying to make him look like a bad guy. You know what I mean?
That's what they do,
Comedians
dude.
do that all the time.
Yeah.
Literally, but
Like,
it's their job.
Comics'
It's what
whole,
they get
whole
paid
job
to do.
is to be controversial, and you're gonna try to cancel them for that. Like
Exactly.
you literally paid that guy
Like,
to
that's
go
what
watch
most
him.
jokes are.
Exactly.
Like even day-to-day jokes, dude. What are the ones you laugh at? The dark, fucked up
The
ones.
dark.
That's
You
what
don't laugh
that,
at the fucking. Why did the
Well,
chicken cross the road?
that's what
Exactly.
makes a joke funny is you say the most unexpected thing. So if you say
Exactly.
something that's so controversial, you're like, oh, that's funny
Most
it's
good
not
jokes
that's
involve
not
shock
real.
factor.
It isn't.
Most
What's
good
that?
jokes involve shock factor.
Exactly.
They do. Like same thing with like an interview.
To a degree.
Same thing like even George said on one of his, like he was trying to like talk about God and whatnot, and people weren't listening. And he's a Christian man who's not supposed to swear, you know, don't use foul language or whatever. And he says like one of his like I want to say, what do I want to say? Like one of his like he allows himself to go deeper into the conversation by saying like, oh, and fuck this, you know, because people
Yeah.
Yeah.
immediately like
Respond to that.
Respond to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know?
I've heard George talk about Christian. He was ever since he was on Impulsive. I've been watching George because
Yeah.
I love George.
Me
He's
too.
such a good guy.
He
like
is.
he deserves everything that he deserves everything. I think he's getting married now too, which
He
is
is
fucking
married.
amazing.
He got
Good for
married
him.
by he got married by Cliff and Stuart Connectley. I don't know if you know who those guys are.
They have their own podcast too, don't they?
They have their own podcast. They do their own thing, like their own show. But it's a dad and a son. And Cliff is like he's been doing this for like ever. He's like a preacher who goes on college campuses and
Awesome.
he preaches the gospel to like these college kids, and they debate him
Yeah.
and they argue. with him.
I've seen
I've
that.
seen
I've
that
seen
guy.
that.
You know
yeah.
who I'm talking
That
about,
older
Yeah.
guy, yeah.
dude. Yeah, this
Yep.
man literally like he doesn't have an answer for everything. Nobody does.
But he's
Nobody-
realistic about everything he says.
He is. He's realistic, and
Yep.
he answers these questions that the students ask him. And if he doesn't know, he goes, "I do not know."
He's not bullshitting you.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because there's some people within that community that will sit there and bullshit you straight to
Exactly.
your face.
Mhm.
You know, that's like the sad thing about like religion in today's times. Is like it's so easy for people to like kind of get in there and like fucking like do shady shit
Exactly.
with it.
Tear it
Yeah.
apart.
You
You
know?
know, go into
So
their
when
way.
you see somebody doing it the way you're supposed to do and using it for like actual good and like educating people and kind of like answering some people's questions in ways they didn't think they could be answered, you know what I mean? That's where like you're like, oh, okay, like I see how this can be a positive thing for
Exactly.
society. You know, and people who bring that to like media attention, you know, I like it's rare nowadays. You know,
It is
what I
rare.
mean?
It's
like
very rare.
most of what you see nowadays with like mainstream like religion is like it getting bashed. You know what I mean?
That's all it is.
Which I
Yeah.
think to a degree is like really because there's that shady shit that you should know about. You know?
Oh,
What I mean?
absolutely.
But there's also a lot of good within that community.
There is.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? Because
There
like
is.
there's a reason it exists in today's times for a reason.
Exactly.
The
You know
whole
what I mean?
point of like the Bible is to be good throughout your life and to be good to other people. Like, and then people just misconstrue that their own way, like you guys were saying, and that it hurts when like you're actually religious and stuff like you are and like George are, and you see people that aren't religious and are taking it for granted. It's like, damn, that hurts.
Absolutely.
Because there are people that look at it as like a different perspective, like a way to look forward on like different things in life. Because a lot of people can't even get out of bed without, like you said, like the first thing you do in the morning is read your Bible. A lot of people can't even get out of bed without reading the Bible.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly. And
Like-
sometimes before I even read my Bible, I got this advice from another Instagram reel that I seen a while back. It said Denzel Washington, and he was doing like an interview with this lady, and he goes, "Before you wake up in the morning, don't go like this." You know,
Yeah.
he says, "Wake up and sit in 30 minutes of silence. 30 minutes of silence." And he goes, "And if that's too much, start with 5 or 10." And so I did that, and because what you do when you do that, and like he said, if you sit there in silence, you begin to hear things, you know, and whether you hear with your ears or your mind, you know, you begin to hear things.
Yeah.
And it's true. And I could be getting real biblical here, but I think what you're hearing is God telling you certain things,
Yep.
you know. And the thing is the devil tempts us every day. He
Oh,
does.
yeah. That's
and-
what every negative thought in your head is
Exactly.
the devil going, hey, do that, do that,
Exactly.
do that.
And I'm not necessarily saying this is evil or like, you know, temptatious or whatever. It's just so what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're so used to waking up and the first thing we're doing is looking at our cell phones.
And even then, like, and not that it's not necessarily pure evil, but most of the stuff on media is negative things that like draw, like, because that's what people are drawn to.
You're filling your
mainly is
mind with
negative
garbage
things.
90% of the time. You know, you're filling your mind with just nonsensical things. Like if I were to sit there and scroll through Instagram for 2 minutes and I'm on my like 15th reel, I can't tell you what the first reel I seen was.
Yeah.
You can't
know what I
remember
mean?
anything.
Exactly. But if I sit there and I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is read my Bible and I know what chapter I'm on and whatever section of the Bible I'm in, I can tell you exactly where I started.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I'm filling my mind with something, and not even necessarily like the Bible. Let's say you're just reading a book or
Yeah,
doing
you're just doing something that's not the norm.
exactly.
You know,
you're doing something abnormal, and so it immediately clicks in your mind. Like, oh, what did you do this morning? Oh, well, I watched Instagram reels. What was the first reel? I don't know. But hey, what did you do this morning? Oh, I
Went to the gym.
went to the gym.
Instantly, like, woke up, got ready, went
I
to the
hit
gym.
chest, yeah,
Remember
something
the
like
set
that.
you did, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You remember because you're not used to it.
Exactly.
You know, you're doing something new. Now, it can be good or bad what you're doing, but like regardless, you know what you're doing.
You're doing something
Exactly.
that requires you to consciously be there.
Exactly. And that's one of the God-given gifts is he gave us free will.
Yes.
We're able to do whatever we want.
Yep.
You know?
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
yes.
yes. But like that's all it comes down to.
I have kind of like an off-topic, kind of trippy question,
I love it.
and I wanted to ask you it because like you seem like a pretty open-minded person. You know,
I try to be.
So like God, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is God's like form? Like, what do you think the form of God is?
What do I think the form? That is a very good question. That is a very good question.
It's a
So,
deep question.
It is a deep question. So my answer to that question is I don't know. But
If you had to.
if I had to guess, I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, it's a guy with a white beard that comes out of
Yeah,
the sky.
see, I don't think anybody actually thinks that.
Right.
Unless you're a kid.
Past
you're a
like the
kid,
age
exactly.
of like 12.
Like I said, when you're a kid and
Yeah.
you go to church, the only thing you're caring about is when is this over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
not
exactly.
talking about like the depiction of God. I'm
Right.
talking about like God,
the picture
the
of an
entity.
image. So
if God was an entity,
if a God was an entity, so God is a spiritual being, you know, and when Jesus came down on earth, he claimed to be the Son of God. He got bashed for it, crucified, nailed on a cross, right? So in my opinion, God is all powerful and all good. Now, a lot of people are going to debate me on this and say, well, if God's so good and powerful, why is he allowing this?
Yeah.
This, and that. And that goes back to the whole free will.
The free
section.
will, we made
Yeah.
those decisions to
made-
lead to that point.
Exactly. And I'm not necessarily saying that's the devil. You know, we're all humans,
Yep.
right? We all have free will. We all have an open mind. We all have the ability
we all
to
have
do whatever we want.
impulses.
Exactly. We all do whatever we want. And like Cliff said on many of his podcasts, like he has a lot of flaws, like, you know. And
We're not perfect.
exactly. Like he said, and I say right now, I'm very glad that there isn't a picture of my fantasy life hanging above
Yeah.
my head right now.
Yeah.
I am really glad. But to answer your question, I think God is a spiritual being, and everything that you look at that is
Is
good
God.
is good. Is good is just
Is right.
even not even necessarily right in your mind, just something that's good and something that makes you feel good, at peace.
Yeah.
That's God. You know, and you know, if I have to give God a human form per se,
Yep.
I can't.
Okay.
I actually can't.
Okay.
And I really that question is a very hard question.
What do you think? Okay, I have an idea to present you,
I love it.
and it might not make sense,
I'm ready
but
for it.
okay, this is gonna be like, okay.
We're getting into it.
We're getting
An
into it.
hour
Let's
and a
do it.
half.
So,
in.
I
Let's
am
go.
so ready
Okay,
for this.
So if we're like, so theoretically, right, according to like Christianity, if we are made in God's image, right,
Right.
us as humans, right, I think the way I interpret is that
God's
like
God is not a
smiting you.
cough.
is
No,
like
I'm joking.
God is life, you know, because what we are is life. You know what I mean? That's like the one thing we all have in common.
Right.
Bad parts of life, good parts of life. Because like I believe in the idea of like balance. In order to like appreciate the good, you have to like have the bad. You know what I mean? In order to have the bad,
I
you have to have the
absolutely
good.
agree.
Chaos creates
Exactly.
peace.
So like, what do you think about the idea of God just like being everything? Like not just like necessarily like being like an entity, but being just like
Everything, everywhere.
what is right now is that entity that like, you know what I mean? Like what is like we're living in, like the space we're living in,
yeah,
like the time that we're experiencing living in, you know what I mean? Like
That is God.
us, you, yourselves, everything, that itself being like God itself.
So are you saying
And nothing like other than that.
are you saying like everything around us is God?
Yeah.
Like this
The-
table.
Yep.
The whole universe itself.
Just the experience that we are experiencing right now that everybody is experiencing.
So I'm gonna
Oh,
answer.
no.
I'm gonna answer this question like this, and it may not answer your question, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer it the way I feel like you asked. So, like I said, God is a spiritual being, and God doesn't necessarily tell the future, but He knows what we're gonna do. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
You know, He knows what we're gonna do tomorrow based on what we do, and it all it's all based on our free will, but He knows.
yeah.
And that all goes back to like I think it was Saint Matthew. I can't remember what verse or chapter, but the devil tempted Jesus and brought him to the top of a mountaintop. And he said, Jesus, he should like pointed to a city and said, this could all be yours. All of this can be yours. You can have this, you can rule the world, basically. And
Yeah.
God said, no. I'm only going to, God's word is the only right way. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord. I'm living by God's word. And so when I say that, by answering your question, I'm going to say that if everything is God, what would you define that to be? Like, if everything is God, what do you want God to be?
I mean, to me, because like when I think of like a god, I just think of like the entity that manifested this experience. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I don't believe in the idea that for no reason at all this happened. You know,
Could
like
you
I
at
could see
all-
myself believe.
Sorry.
I could see myself believing like the Big Bang Theory. You know what I mean? Like not like I don't 100% believe in like any particular like zone of thinking. You know what I mean? Especially like about big.
You're
questions like that.
open-minded.
Yeah.
And I love that.
But I could believe in like the Big Bang Theory, but I don't think any of this happened for no reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I don't think this just happened with no outside interference. I think there was some outside interference. Whether
Right.
that be like whether Christianity's on the nose, whether it be like fucking Buddhism or even shit like this is a simulation. You know what I mean?
Or
I
it's
think
like
Well,
aliens
for-
toying with us or
Exactly.
something like.
I
There's so
think
many
that there
things out
had
there.
to have been some sort of design to this.
Well, exactly. And that all points back to the first ever chapter and book of the Bible.
Yeah.
Which is, do you know what it is?
No.
Genesis.
Genesis.
The
Yeah.
book of Genesis. In the beginning was the
Sun.
word.
The word.
In the beginning was the word.
Mm.
God created the heaven and the earth, and He said, "Let there be light."
Okay.
Yes.
Which light happened because when He first created the earth, it was all water.
Yep.
It was all water, to my understanding. Now I might get bashed for this, but from what I've read in the Bible, that's the understanding that I got. It was just water. So He first said, "Let there be light," and then after He said, "Let there be light," if I remember right, He created. I can't remember what it's called, but He created the sky, which separated water.
Yep.
So we had water here, water there, and here was the sky. And then He said, "Let the water become one." You know, and that I can go on and on and on, but I'll let you read it for yourself. But like that, do I believe in the Big Bang Theory? Personally, no. From a religious perspective, can I see it being a possibility? Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't discount anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to discount anything.
We're just
you know,
monkeys with guns.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
We're talking about a book of books.
Yep.
That's what the Bible is. It's a book made up of many books.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like, that's what I'm
And
saying.
it's all
And people are
interpreted.
people.
People are people, and,
people are
and
people.
this book
And-
was made 2,000
And
years
it's been
Exactly.
translated over thousands of languages.
It's all
Exactly.
interpretive, and like that's the thing too. Is like people will see something and describe it completely differently than the way they actually saw
Or
it
they'll
because of the way their
yep.
mind interprets it. Like it's just the way it goes. So
Exactly.
however you want to interpret the things you're reading in the Bible, that's how you should live it. You know.
Exactly.
What do you think of the idea of simulation theory?
The simulation. I'm not going to discount it. It's
Well, how
definitely a
plausible
possibility.
do you think it is compared to something like Big Bang Theory?
To answer that question, I'm going to go ahead and say that I find the simulation theory to be a lot more realistic than that's a tough question. I'm going to go ahead and say the simulation theory is a lot more believable than the Big Bang.
Okay.
And the reason
Okay.
I say this is because all of this, like if you look around us, the trees, the animals, all that, I don't think that happens in a boom.
Well, think about what video games will be like in like 100 years.
Bro, they're going to be nuts.
They're going to be just like this.
They're going to be bro, you're
They're
not going to
going
be
to-
able to tell the difference.
You're not.
You're not.
So, like, what if this is that? You couldn't.
That's a
right?
crazy thought, bro.
Think
We're a
about-
video game right
Think
now.
about it. I mean,
Like the character is choosing what we get to say.
you couldn't prove it. I mean, not even like that. Just like the idea that this is like
A VR
Of-
headset.
like,
Like
a
you threw it
simulated
on.
form of reality, and outside of this, you are in a different reality, like experiencing this
And
one.
this whole life is only like 10 minutes in that life.
The more and more we find out about the human mind, the more and more we'll be able to mess with it and do
Mhm.
shit. And, like,
And not only just
dilate
mess
time
with
and
it, but
do shit like this.
understand it.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's-
We can understand what the human mind.
And the more we
consists of.
understand with it, the more we'll be able to do to it,
Mhm.
you know, and the more we'll be able to modify and do this to it and do that to it.
Oh, absolutely. I
Because think about, like,
completely agree.
when you think about video games, like when you think about like GTA 6 comes out, right? Like, what are you gonna think about like being like the main thing? You know? Oh, dude, look at the graphics.
Dude, exactly.
Look how realistic.
Every time a new game comes out, the first
Yep.
thing I think of is the graphics.
Once VR really gets it figured out, once probably quantum computing comes into play and shit
Which
like
it
that
will
with
happen.
and like things like
Sooner than later,
Neuralink
probably.
Mhm.
and things like Neuralink for recreational purposes, like it's gonna be just like this. Like you said, you won't be able to tell the difference.
No.
It's
It's
gonna,
gonna
be
be so
designed
similar.
probably for you to not be able to tell the difference. Because like, what's like the whole point of like watching a movie? You're trying to escape reality.
Mhm.
Playing a video game, you're trying to escape reality.
Mhm.
Best way to escape it, theoretically on paper, would probably be to convince yourself that you're in a completely different one.
Absolutely. And the best way I can, you know, if let's say for example I were to argue your statement on simulation, is that I can't even like scientifically or realistically prove that you were sitting across from me and you were looking at me.
Exactly.
You know, that's just what we. That's just
'cause
what we depict.
even scientifically, like they can't prove much. They in science they say we're made of atoms. Everything around us is made of atoms. But for some reason, they don't know why when I knock that piece of wood, why I don't go through that piece of wood.
Exactly.
They don't. There's no
It
explanation
can't be
for
explained.
it.
The only thing they can say is that it's solid and
There's
so are we.
there's more atoms in this than there are in my or there's an equal amount of atoms in this and this. So
Yes.
it just collides with one another.
And that all
That's their
falls-
only explanation. But
and-
that doesn't make sense.
Well, the thing
It doesn't. That's exactly what I was just
there's
gonna
like
say.
there's like mathematical equations to like explain stuff like that. But the thing that's weird about it is like when you get down to like the like very like smallest parts like atoms and like what's in an atom,
Mm-hmm.
most of like what makes up the smallest particles within the universe and make up everything, right, is made up of empty space.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Just like space itself
Mhm.
is made up of
Empty space. Exactly.
70 to 80% of space is just completely nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing, you
Mhm.
know, like cosmic void, shit like that, right? And that's how it is at like a small, super minimal level too.
Like
You know what I mean?
and that's how you realize like how small you are is because on a macular scale there's a whole world on like the micro scale. There's
Yep.
like little
There's an entire universe.
little species and stuff like that.
It's
like
crazy.
you look in a microscope on this table, there's a whole world
Yep.
on like on that table, right?
Think about
and then
the
you
ocean.
you zoom all the way out, there could be a whole nother like we could
It's
be
probably
we
infinite.
could be that like we could be that universe to like a different type of species. We just can't see it because there's another I don't think this is like a theory or anything, but there's like scientifically proven humans like as we are right now can't see four-dimensional things.
No,
Exactly.
we can't. Yeah.
So what
It's
if
scientifically
like
proven.
we can only see through three-dimensional things, like
Yeah.
3D things. That's how we live
Yep.
our lives.
Exactly.
There's no physical way for us to be able to see anything in 4D. But what if there is a species that can?
Exactly.
That would be the species
And we
higher than
can't
us.
see them.
But
There's-
we cannot see them
We
at all.
cannot see them.
Just
Our-
like just like the microorganisms in our bodies and all the materials around us can't see us because they're on a two-dimensional plane.
Mhm.
There's an idea that like how everything is made up of kind of like empty space at like a molecular level and at like the astronomical level. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? There's an idea that like it's not super supported by science just because like can't be. You know, it's a hard thing to prove, but that like it's infinite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you go so far down the scale, like think about it like this, like. You go so far down the scale and like get to like that like level where you're like inside of like what makes up an
Mhm.
atom and like
Exactly.
even deeper than that, smaller than that
It
to the
ca-
point.
It can
Isn't-
go
it
could
on
just-
and on and
it could
on.
look-
Isn't that technically
look-
like the quantum?
It could look just like
the quantum theory.
it could
Yeah.
just it could look just like what we experience space as.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you get down to
Exactly.
like the nitty-gritty of like what makes up like an atom, you know what I mean? Like and like what makes up like space and galaxies, they kind of look similar.
Exactly.
You know
what
I mean?
what
In,
makes
like,
up a
basic
planet
way,
looks exactly
know?
like what
And
makes up an atom.
that's the
what
idea
makes
of like
up
what
us.
fractals
What we
are.
see right here on the table.
And that's the idea of like what fractals are. Fractals are pretty much like how blood vessels kind of resemble like river streams from like above, or like how trees, like when you look at like a branch, it looks like a mini tree, and when you zoom out, it's a big tree, and when you look at the roots, it looks like a tree underground.
Exactly.
That's
It's
like
so
fractals.
similar
it goes,
to our like
it branches and
neurosystem,
branches
our
and
nervous system.
goes infinite, and you could go like zoom in and
Have-
out, and eventually when you go so far around, you just fucking come back to us.
And that's
it
why
keeps
I
going and
believe
going
that's
and
why I
going and
believe in
going.
God so much, dude.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that's all coincidence.
Exactly. There's no
Exactly.
way.
There's no way I can look at a plant root and think that's my brain, bro, or my
Like-
neurosystem
Yeah.
connecting. It's
That's
just
why I
crazy.
believe in the idea of like a creator.
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. And if it isn't, let's say for example,
If it's not the
It's a
Christian
video
God,
game.
or it's a simulation, or it's
there's
anything.
a creator.
I think that to a degree, when you look at everything and you look at like the immense detail within everything and like how well everything works and how super specifically everything has to happen and everything like that for even this simple situation, what we think is a simple situation to happen, it has to have some sort of outside interference to get it to go this way, or to get it to be conceptualized and actually like happen in this way.
Exactly.
So I have a question for you then. Like, what do you see that the creator, like, how do you visualize that? Do you see it as just like some future form of humans, or do you see it as like a species we couldn't recognize?
Me personally, I think it's like largely influenced by like the time that like we live in. But like I really believe in the idea of like infinity. You know what I mean? And I think humans really have like this weird idea of like wanting to like live forever. Not necessarily living forever as much as like living lifetimes within a singular lifetime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you watch a movie, and like that's why there's like usually one protagonist, because you're kind of putting yourself in like the foot of that protagonist.
You're putting your perspective through theirs.
Exactly, right? The thing that I believe in is like, I genuinely believe within our lifetime, right? Whether we be old or it happens in the next 10 years, 50 years, whatever, right? But like within our lifetime, I think we will get to a point with like life and entertainment, if we don't nuke ourselves beforehand or anything like that, where we'll be able to like plug into some system and like go in and like live like a life that feels just as realistic as this.
Because the longer we're on the planet, the smarter we become.
And then imagine this. Within that lifetime, it's just like this one, right? Where like we're born right at the time where we're going to see this technology develop and really like happen. We're born into it again, right? And then within that life, we create another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. Because if you do that and you keep doing that, that's
You
just
live
artificial
forever.
infinity.
Yeah, you literally live forever.
Forever. Because if you're dilating time within each of them, like it's kind of like the movie Inception. As stupid as it sounds, I kind of believe in the idea that this might be a simulation.
Yeah.
Personally, like that's kind of where
That's
I
the
think
thing
about
too,
it
bro.
at.
Humans have such a good, like a crazy way of working.
Exactly.
They can literally take any situation and make a bigger situation out of
How often is the human mind compared to like a supercomputer?
it. Exactly.
Think, like, well, who
Right?
makes supercomputers?
Human minds.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Who made AI?
Yeah.
Humans.
And the guy that made AI is
And
scared
I think
of it.
eventually, like, think about that too. Like, eventually, like, AI and quantum computing and all these things are going to culminate to create this supercomputer that can make something like that and make something this realistic. Because you're going to need a lot of fucking processing power.
I
to do
mean, a
a
something
lot of
like that.
money
Holy
too,
fuck.
bro. You're gonna need a lot
Holy
of money.
fuck.
Yeah.
And at first, it's all going to be government, spy op, fucking shit like that. Government,
Military
fucking
stuff. Yeah.
undercover, fucking classified type shit, right? But eventually, right, like, we're going to see, right, like, the idea of like everybody thinks living forever, oh yeah, we're gonna fucking get really good healthy, we're gonna turn into robots. No, I think we're gonna do it through things like the computer and things like that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like just so happened that we were born at the culmination of all of it to see all of it come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Does it-
Call it a coincidence, but I don't think it is.
So
That's
you're
where I
saying
think
like
about
like
it.
your answer for
I think
what you
outside
think a
of-
creator is.
I think outside of this, there's probably something just like this. And I think it probably keeps going back, and I think it'll keep going forward. Because I think that makes the most
Yeah.
sense in terms of like what
There,
humans want as a whole.
there's a certain cycle of life, but this is so off topic.
But I could
you
be so
you
wrong.
said something that reminded me of there was a assassination the other day in the United States.
Oh yeah, that CEO.
CEO.
Fuck
of
that guy.
United
was
Health. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson got shot and
Yo.
killed in Manhattan by a hitman, who is now no one knows where. Like they can't find him at all.
He
And
disappeared.
I like it's.
They're still looking for him.
There's pictures of him and shit.
There's pictures of him, but he's disappeared. They don't like. They have no idea where he could be. You know.
When was this? If you don't mind
This
me
was
asking?
like a week.
Like a week ago, I think.
How
Yeah.
did I not hear
week or
about
so
this?
ago,
My
yeah.
goodness. Okay.
It happened in New York.
Yep.
Seemed very planned.
Yeah, that's what I. That's what
When
I
you
was.
watch the
That's what I
surveillance
was about to
video-
bring up. Like
When you
the-
watch the surveillance video, you
I
see the guy come out behind the car and just pop
I think.
and walk away, hood on, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Seemed very hitman-y.
Well, and that's the thing.
be wrong, though.
I think someone in the government or someone in a foreign government hired that guy to do it. This guy could be CIA or something, and now like they're never gonna find him.
Because
let's
let's say for example it is the
I
CIA,
think-
let's be completely honest. They're not gonna find this guy unless he's killed himself in a hotel.
I think for all the
which
pictures
has happened before.
I think for all the pictures they have of him, I think they would have found him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude. This guy, whoever the hitman is, they don't have a name or anything for him. I don't
I've
think.
seen pictures of him good enough to say he kind of looks like Timothy Chalamet.
Damn,
Really?
Timothy
Yeah.
Chalamet is a hitman
Yeah.
now. Damn.
Straight
Bro,
up.
man just got done filming a movie. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be a hitman."
Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna take a piss right quick.
Go for it, bro. But no, like, while he's gone, what I was gonna say just about that whole thing that you just said was, let's say for example it was planned. You know, let's say because that theory will never leave.
Like that was the immediate theory that popped up when it happened on the news. Is like it's obviously something that was planned.
Staged,
yeah,
And you can even put that depiction in any sort of assassination.
exactly.
You could take it with the Kennedy assassination, the Lincoln assassination. Now, we may not have had technology back then, but we're humans. We're human minds. We
You
can sit
can-
there and we can make infinite solutions to this problem, one of which may never be correct.
Exactly.
But that's what's so fun about a theological conversation is anything can be possible.
Dude, if none of this podcast and YouTube stuff works out, I think I would love to be a detective.
Bro.
Genuinely. Like just sit there and theorize
Absolutely.
about like what humans do and why they do it. Cause like I think of myself as like a pretty logical thinker. Like I try to think of things like the most logical way they would happen.
Oh,
And
me
when
as well,
when I
absolutely.
saw the news about that, I was like, logically, that guy would have security, plenty of security to just stray off any random person that's going to gun for him. So whoever
Absolutely.
killed him has to be at least somewhat trained,
Part of it.
partially
Part of
trained
it,
to know
yeah,
how to
part
get
of it.
past all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it, logically, you just have to think there and go. It looks a lot like a setup.
Seems kind
It-
of sus. dude.
especially when it's like a healthcare
God,
professional
yeah.
like that. You're like, nobody likes these guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially foreign governments and some people in our government, I would assume.
Oh,
And this
God,
is
yeah.
the thing. I can say all this I want because if this ends up being true, guess what? Like people will find out because I'll go missing. You know
Exactly. And that's another thing like I was gonna say is I'm not trying to get off. I'm not trying to like piss off certain people, but like take Andrew Tate for example. Now I don't agree with a lot of the things he says, but I agree with a lot of the things he says.
I'm the exact same way. He
Yeah.
says a lot of weird, random stuff, but he also says a lot of really good, genuine stuff that people should listen to.
Absolutely.
You just kind of got to depict which one you should listen to, you know? And that's what people have a problem with.
exactly, and they don't want to listen to the things that they think he's right about. They just want to listen to the things that they think he's wrong about. And so like
Are we talking about Andrew Tate right
yeah.
now?
we are,
I
we
knew
are.
it.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
knew
yeah,
it.
exactly.
I knew it.
He wandered in and got
I
it.
knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
and like he said during the George Janko podcast, there's 3 strikes somebody gets when they attack the Matrix, like he says, right?
Yeah,
Strike 1 is they cancel you on all sorts of social media platforms.
which they've done
Which
to
they've
multiple people.
Step 2, they throw you in a jail cell
They've done that to him twice now.
twice now. And step 3, do you know what that was?
What was it?
Assassination. Now, I'm not saying the CEO of for the healthcare or anything did those 2 steps, but maybe just by some sort of theological mindset that I have, maybe he passed those 2 because he has the ability to pass those 2. He
like,
knows.
He knows too much, so they had to
Exactly.
get
They're
rid
like,
of him or
this
something.
guy has to go.
Yeah.
Had
He
to
is
skip to
too
number
smart.
3.
we
Yeah,
done.
like- and I
we
mean,
done.
And that's the thing. I feel like that the 2 steps only really go for people who publicly call out what's going on
Exactly.
with the government and what Andrew Tate calls the matrix and stuff like that. It only happens to people who publicly call it out. They get like thrown in jail and then they get killed in jail somehow or something happens to them.
It's
But,
and
like-
you never hear about it.
Exactly.
You just hear it you hear about it for like the smallest amount
Like
of
a
time. and then
day
it's
or two,
gone.
and then it's off the internet.
I do want to say really quick about that CEO of the he was the CEO of like a health insurance company. I forget
Yes.
the name of it, but it was like one of the
United Healthcare.
United Healthcare.
It was United Health.
Yeah, like one of
That's
the
a
bigger
big
firms.
one.
Yeah.
No kidding.
And out of all like the firms that like have like their like approval rate of like whether insurance will cover you or not, right? They had like the lowest one, so they would deny people a lot of shit, right? Like say like somebody
Oh,
needed,
yeah.
like a fucking surgery.
And
Like a lot of them.
And they would deny him, and then they would put him in debt, right?
Right.
So it's very
So-
possible as well that it was just some disgruntled, like somebody's
Or-
mom got fucked over by him, and they decided to take it in their own hands.
That's
That's
very
also very likely as well. and
We're
I
just
also wanna
we're just
put that out there.
theorizing over here. We're just idiot children over here. All right.
We really are.
But
We're just
now that
thinking of
like
stuff.
even when you say that, like, what if the like, I don't mean to get too controversial or like go too conspiracy nut over here, but like you just said that their insurance declines more people than most, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't more insurance places want more approval ratings? So like especially a big company like United like that,
Yeah.
so they would want higher approval ratings. So maybe
I don't know how.
some, like
I
I
can
don't
see
really
it.
know how the health insurance game works.
me neither. That's
I don't
why, like
either,
that's why this
because
is
I don't work in health
Insurance
Yeah.
is a very pyramid schemey type of thing,
It
like
is,
by
right.
design.
Mm-hmm.
and like that like
It's hard to understand.
and that like that's also to your point is it could just be some random person who was at the bottom of that pyramid who just didn't like the way it worked.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very possible too. Well, whoever it was,
He did good. He's in hiding now.
I hope-
Fuck. He got away with
I
it
hope-
for now.
he gets caught.
Definitely gonna get caught
Hope,
for
hopefully,
sure.
Please don't get caught.
hopefully.
And like you said, I know nothing about it, but I'm with Clint on this one. A lot of it does seem staged. A lot of it does seem fishy.
It is a
Mhm.
fishy video when you watch the surveillance video.
Yeah, show
But
me.
some people just have tactical training, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like the guy clearly had to have some sort of training to like, because this guy isn't just some
He was very-
random
He was
guy on
very
the
calm
street.
and
Yeah, this is a-
efficient
this
with
guy knows
what
what
he
he's
This,
doing.
did.
this is a wealthy, popular guy who knows people will not like him.
Exactly.
You know, so it, like
Dude, they tried to assassinate Trump twice, bro.
exactly.
3 times, actually.
You
right?
think-
three?
You think if they really wanted to assassinate Trump, they would have hired like an actual professional assassin to do
yeah,
it.
and that's why I think the first one was so sus because
In my
It
opinion-
was
were
like a
"There's
19,
guy on a
it's like a
rooftop."
20-year-old.
opinion,
Yeah.
If they wanted him dead,
He'd be
he'd
dead.
He'd be dead.
That's how the
I don't
government
think
works.
it's that hard to kill
Exact-
a fucking
like,
president.
dude,
They've
dude,
done
yeah.
it before.
Come on now, yeah.
Dude,
And, like,
come
we're
on.
talking about a guy who literally, like, after all of that, he said, "Guess what? I'm gonna win the fucking election."
Yeah.
he did, bro.
And he fucking did. Like,
He
dude,
did. Like, bro, I'm serious. This guy literally said, "I'm him."
we're
I
getting,
would not be
we're
surprised
getting into
if it was
scary
orchestrated
times.
straight up.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
what we're saying. Like,
'Cause
it's legit. Like,
I don't know if
full size.
I think I brought this up on the podcast like the week after the assassination attempt happened, but like the kid that did it is in a BlackRock commercial for the company BlackRock, and it's like
Really?
that just seems so weird.
It seems weird.
Like
and
the
it
kid is
seems-
literally just like sitting in a desk in the background of a BlackRock commercial.
It
And
seems
it's
weird,
just like
and it seems purposeful.
mm-hmm.
And
Very
that's-
purposeful that he like that specific kid was there.
yeah, that's sus. The craziest thing that's happened to me this year.
His phone got
Well, they're
stolen
like,
in Vegas.
Minus
that was
that,
pretty
minus-
crazy.
minus
that
that.
was pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Was that the craziest thing? Probably not. Now
Damn.
I'm gonna.
Crazy in a good way, bad way, just
So,
something really
I
unexpected.
got 2 things. So the crazy in a bad way, nowhere near is my phone.
Okay.
Phone's a phone.
Yeah, you can
phone can
you
be
can get a phone.
replaced.
Yeah.
Now something crazy that happened to me this year wasn't necessarily crazy, but it definitely broke my heart. And it was my brother. He just got back from South Carolina. He was in the National Guard. Now I'm not gonna say his name because I love him to death, but he had to come home early because him and I shared some battles together,
Yeah.
you know, anxiety wise.
Yeah.
So seeing him go and struggle like that broke me.
I bet.
Broke me like I've never been broken before.
Yeah.
That was probably the craziest thing that happened to me negatively wise. And which isn't that crazy, like from like a physical perspective or from an
But from
emotional,
mental,
yeah.
an
Mentally,
emotional
yeah.
perspective. Yeah, it was crazy.
I
was
could
like,
see how that could be really
I didn't know how to
bothersome.
handle him.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, I don't have my brother. I talk to my brother every day,
Yeah.
and he's not allowed to have his phone there. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, what am I gonna do? I can't talk to my brother. Fuck. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So like, he's back now, thank God. I can't be more thankful for it. Do I wish he would have continued? Absolutely, no matter how bad it affected my life.
Yeah.
But just because of the long-term effectiveness that it would have had on his.
yeah.
Because even though it's not the best, it's good for you.
Yeah.
Especially
yeah.
the National Guard, because you don't have to do it full time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he, you know, and so I was happy for him, but I missed him.
Yep.
So that was probably my my biggest like crazy thing negatively that happened in my life. And it's all good now. I'll clear
That's
it
good.
up.
That's good.
Phone getting stolen, yeah, that was crazy.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
was
but that's
crazy.
not as bad
It was
as that,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from an emotional standpoint, positively, just recently,
Really?
crazy wise.
How
And,
recent?
I'm talking like 2 days ago,
Oh,
Damn.
damn. Okay.
That's
2 days ago.
recent.
Very
recent,
recent
recent.
development.
and it's biblical.
Okay.
But like, and so I have a feeling that a lot of people have, especially if you're like trying to get closer to God and trying to follow down that road. Yeah, if you're really making a point to do it and you're really like committing to it,
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice coincidences that you've noticed before that have been like before they've been it's just whatever,
Random coincidence.
blow it off, absolutely. But then things that have happened recently, like 3 days ago, crazy thing happened to me. Not that crazy from like any other normal day. Like so I'll go ahead and tell you guys because I don't care. But so I have my Apple Watch always tells me about like the mindfulness app will always pull up and tell me something weird, you know. Like
Mine
some-
does that too.
it's
Yeah.
like, and I always look at it, I'm like, whatever. I don't,
Who cares?
who cares? Yeah. But it was right after I got done praying. And normally whenever I pray, I always put myself first.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, please, keep me healthy. Make sure I can see my family every day, blah, blah, blah. I always do that. Every prayer that I ever say, I always put myself first. One day, I prayed for about 2.5 minutes, not even that long, and I never mentioned myself once, which was weird. And I didn't even do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I just prayed.
Just happened
Yeah.
that way.
Exactly. And after I had prayed, my Apple Watch, my mindfulness app came up and said, make some time for yourself. That's all it said.
Okay.
Any other time I would have been like, oh, okay, whatever. But
Yep.
like for some reason, I can't even explain why. I was just like, okay, whatever. Now, 2 days ago, the craziest thing happened to me. Now, I always feel like if somebody is really truly trying to get close with Jesus, it can take years for you to have a spiritual encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what happened to me may not have been a spiritual encounter. It could have just been an encounter, but I felt like it wasn't. I felt like it was a spiritual encounter. Most people know. This time I didn't know, but I felt it was crazy.
Yeah.
So I woke up, I read my Bible, blah, 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 and I looked at my clock and I was like, oh, crap, I got to be working 30 minutes. I got to go hurry up. And I
Yeah.
stood up, got my clothes ready, and out of nowhere, I fell to my knees and bawled.
Damn.
Out of nowhere. And I'm talking like it was, I don't even know how to explain it. It was the craziest thing because I wasn't thinking about anything negative or positive. I was just thinking, oh, shit, I got to get ready for work.
Yeah.
And so I literally got up out of my bed, went to go get in the shower, and fell to my knees and started crying.
Holy fuck.
And all I said, I didn't say anything else. All I said was, please, God. That's all I said. And I said it about 3 times. And the only reason that I felt like this was a spiritual encounter is because of the number 3 times, is because of 3 is the Father,
The
Son, and the
Trinity.
Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I never, in all my lifetime, being on this planet, have had an encounter like that. I can't think of any reason because I can't think of any reason why I just fell to my knees. And the reason I make this public is because I feel like, and I'm not trying to push anybody towards religion or anything, but I feel like if you do give your life to Jesus, and you're not trying to have any sort of encounter like that, and something like that happens, I can't think of any way that you would think of that negatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd say overall it's a pretty positive experience.
It was
pretty
crazy.
beautiful experience. Yeah.
That's what I think. Like
Kind
to
of like
most
out of
people, it'd be
body,
like-
I'm sure.
Exactly, and to most people, they would have been like, oh, whatever, you know, you were just crying, you freaking baby, you know, like whatever. But like I don't know how to explain it. That's just what happened to me, and
Still, dude.
crazy.
Either way, that's crazy. That is crazy.
And yeah, and the fact that you asked me that and it happened just 2 days ago,
Yeah,
it really
pretty
is.
cool.
It is
Solid
cool.
timing.
Full circle, man.
Solid timing.
It was
for real.
cool. It was cool.
Shout out. Bet, dude.
Dude,
Well, I feel
that,
like
that was a really good episode,
Solid
man.
episode.
I
I love
really,
that.
I really
For real.
appreciate you.
I feel like
coming
that's a
on,
good
man.
positive note to end off
And-
on.
Oh,
For
and
real.
also we didn't even mention this at the beginning of the podcast, but peep the new setup, guys. I hope
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
like it.
It's a work in progress.
Landon's
pretty cool.
Landon's the first
Uh,
one on the new
For real.
horizontal setup. I guess we'll
have
call
more
it.
decoration soon. This whole situation will be figured. It's a work in
We'll-
progress.
we'll get
guys,
it.
But
Don't worry.
yeah,
These guys right here, they're doing something good. Peep in.
we
So
appreciate
so
that.
was this guy right
Landon
here.
is as well.
Amen.
Landon,
We're
any
all just trying to
plugs?
make the world
What's
better
that?
and entertain, man.
Any plugs?
Any plugs?
Promo.
Oh,
SoundCloud.
promo? Oh,
Got a
snap.
got a
Yeah,
song coming
check-
out? Anything
Check out
like
the
that?
SoundCloud. I got an album dropping here in about. I won't say the date yet. I'll announce it soon. But here, a little under 3 months.
Okay.
Whole
Perfect.
album coming.
Okay.
It's gonna have
SoundCloud.
10 songs.
SoundCloud.
We'll link your
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud in the
SoundCloud.
YouTube and Spotify
Yep.
and shit.
Are you
Amen,
on
bro.
YouTube at all?
What's that?
You on YouTube at all?
I'll put this whole album on YouTube.
Perfect.
I'm gonna
Sick.
Put it on YouTube and SoundCloud.
Perfect.
It's coming.
Links will all be in the description. Any Instagram promo, anything like that?
You don't have to follow my Instagram, but I'm gonna
Follow
start.
Landon's
I'm gonna
Instagram.
start putting pictures on almost once a week, if not twice, with a very beautiful picture and a Bible verse, just for my sake and
Nice.
for everybody else's.
Very
Shout
nice.
out.
Dude, and also peep our vlog in a few months when we all go to Vegas with
For
like
real.
10 of us.
Gonna be
Landon's
awesome.
gonna be
Let's
there,
go.
so
We appreciate you coming on, Landon.
Yeah.
Anytime, I'm in.
thank you.
We appreciate
Absolutely, it was a
greatly.
pleasure, boys.
We'll have
Thank
you on
for
again
having
for
me.
sure.
Anytime.
Future Landon and Cole episode and a Mania and Landon episode
Let's
coming out.
go.
We got a lot
This
of
next year.
episodes.
Let's
Big
go.
We could
plans.
do.
If you're watching this on Spotify or YouTube, make sure you comment or whatever the fuck, and then
And we're gonna try to get more clips and stuff out.
more
as well.
clips coming soon.
And if
We've
it's
been waiting
negative,
on
they
that.
don't care, because we're here for the positive message.
We
yo.
do
Exactly.
care. It makes us want to kill ourselves straight up. But we have a Christmas episode coming out on Christmas. Make sure you look out for that. New episodes every Friday. Links to everything will be in the description. Like I said, Landon, we appreciate you coming on.
Anytime.
And peace out, everybody.
See you guys. Thank you.
Later.